Hi, so in this video I wanted to share a couple of tips about how you can configure your awesome window manager in such a way that you can avoid unintended switching of between workspaces and apps. So let me show you what I mean. Basically, if we take a look over here in the top left corner, we have all of our tags or workspaces. They're called tags in Awesome Window Manager. So you can switch between them by clicking on them or by using keyboard shortcuts, the default ones, or the ones that I'm using are the meta key or the super key plus left and right. I think it's the default as well. But there's a couple of problems with this setup. Is because first of all, by default, the mouse wheel would also like switch between those tags, and I often find that very a thing that stands in the way. Basically, I would accidentally touch the mouse wheel, and then I would switch to a different tag by accident, and that's that stands in the way. So that's one of the things that I'm going to cover here. Another thing is also by default, if you go like super right or super left, if you reach like the end of it, like right now at the first tag, if I pressed super left again, if I wasn't in my default configuration, then that would switch me to tag 9, and vice versa. If I was on tag 9 and I pressed super right, then it would wrap back to tag 1. So that's also something that I didn't really find that worked for me, so I'm going to explain how to change that. And another thing is also I'm going to explain how to disable switching between apps, again by using the mouse wheel. So like by default, if I had like the default config loaded up right now, if I was scrolling the mouse like this, like it would just switch between the apps that are open in this tag, and that's also like that also stands in the way for the same reason. So let's take a look at the config, and I'll show you how you can make these adjustments. So let's start with the tag switching thing. So let me start with showing you how you can change the behavior of like wrapping to the, like if you're at the first tag, wrapping back to the last, if you go beyond the first one, and like vice versa, how you can change that. So you need to go into this key bindings section, and you need to find basically right here at the top there will be these two sections. This is like these commented outlines is what you'll have there by default. Just look for this line and then this line, and basically I found you need to replace it with this code, and I actually found this on Reddit, like in this post, and I'll share a link to this in the description. I pretty much copied this with some small adjustments. So over here they created two separate functions, and then they called those functions from this bindings section. So basically what they did was kind of like, you could just copy this and then put it somewhere, for example, before the key bindings section, and then over here you could instead of putting in this function directly here, you could just call it like this. And like you could do the same for the other one. So this is how they did it, but I kind of just put this code in, directly over here, basically with some small adjustments, and yeah, that's how I prefer it, because like I don't really see any need to have these separate functions over there in the config. It's just kind of hard to look for them over there. But yeah, this is basically how they did it, and that's the difference to what you see in my config. So this is how you do this. So now let's talk about how to disable the scrolling thing. So actually just remember that there was also like another scrolling behavior that that would lead to switching between tags, and that's specifically scrolling above an empty desktop. So if I didn't have any windows open here, if I scrolled with the default configuration, like just like by having the cursor hovering over the desktop, it will also switch between tags. So that's the first thing I'm going to show you how to disable. You go into this mouse bindings section and you comment out or delete these two lines. So here I commented them out by putting this multi-line comment here. So this is how you have it by default, and this is what I added. So if you do the same, that will disable switching tags by scrolling over when the cursor is hovering over the desktop. So that's how you disable that. Now to disable switching tags when the mouse cursor is hovering over this area where the tag buttons are, to disable that, you need to, let me see, you need to go into this V-bar section, and you need to comment out this part. So basically again, two lines, I just wrapped them into a comment so that I don't I prefer to just kind of keep the config like the defaults in the config for the time being. Like if I get to a point where I just know it so well that I don't need these things, I'll delete them. But yeah, right now I'm just commenting them out. So that's for tag list buttons. That's how you disable scrolling there. And then there's this other section here that says task list buttons. This refers to these to the apps basically. So essentially this is the tag list over here, and the task list is where all the apps are in the top panel. So over here the same thing, you basically comment out these two lines that say 4 and 5, and that disables switching between apps by scrolling the mouse wheel and hovering over the that task list area. So yeah, this is basically it. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video useful and it helps you out in configuring your awesome window manager. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.